What is going on, everybody? How are we doing today? We have a special guest in the building, but before we get into that, let me go ahead and play the intro music.
Perhaps your skills do extend a bit farther than basketball.
So, as I was saying, Explorers, we have another special guest in the building. Who do we have here today?
It's MER.
Hey,
how we doing?
We got MER in the building.
What up? What up?
So I'm excited for this episode.
Me too, man. As fuck. The first time I met you, we were talking about just the craziest shit immediately.
Yeah,
like we were on like pyramids and aliens and like this type of stuff. And you're like, oh, you listen to this music? Oh yeah, you do. I'm like, all right, man. This dude's on some other shit. Like,
and
I love it.
What's awesome enough is before we went live, you basically said you were doing some more research on 𝁟There, and immediately I'm like, save it for the episode.
You save it. Don't tell me that shit right now. Oh, can we swear? Is that?
Yeah.
That's
go ahead.
Sure. All right, bet.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
cool.
Tell me about 𝁟There,
dude.
Your whole where are you at?
Dog, I'm okay. I'm light with the 𝁟There. I can't front like I'm deep in the knowledge. I know that 𝁟There was the king when he was 9 years old.
Ooh,
dude, that's
on some Joffrey shit.
Straight up, dude. Imagine 9 years old, like, yo, you in charge of everything now, boy. Like, good luck. And he only lived to 19.
Really?
Crazy, dude. He was a king for 10 years.
That's a long time.
That's a long time. That's a long time to be king. But fuck, imagine being a 9-year-old kid. Like, all right, man, you got to do everything now. What does that mean? You're like, oh, okay.
What does it mean? What does it mean? Like, what would it be like? Like, because in today's society, we elect our officials, right?
Yeah,
like we kind of vote on it, and most of the time they're 45, or if this is America,
like they've lived life a long time, they probably know what's up.
Yeah, or if this is America, that might be 700.
That's it, dude. Get them in there. They've lived multiple lifetimes. They probably know what's up, right? Like, this guy's been around.
But back then, it was basically through succession. It was through the family lineage, right? So to end up being the king at 9 years old, like
9 years old, dude.
How crazy? Like, because I'm sure, like, they probably had advisors, right?
I mean, there must have been like a whole crew. You know what I'm saying? It must have been 𝁟There, like, all right, but like the whole family's there. My uncle's up there. He's doing something. I hope to learn more about it.
Yeah.
But dude, I don't know. I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah.
Like, how you in charge, how you make any decision. Like, everyone's like, oh no, shit's going wrong. Like, what happened? And then they just like look at the man in charge and he's like, well, I'm feeling a lot of emotions right now. Like, I'm still trying to grow. I'm hungry right now.
But yeah, no, there's so much to it.
Shit's crazy, dude.
I don't even know. Because even today, like, I'm not, like, I do make decisions, but like, I don't make huge decisions like that.
Dude.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, I'd be stressed out trying to make decisions for a whole group of people.
Yeah.
A whole, like,
society.
I don't know what he did, but like, damn, dude, I couldn't live with that. Sometimes I got to make it like, what do I want for dinner right now? Like, I don't know, man. I'm stressed out. I'm gonna eat this toast and hope for the best.
So tell me, you're into this, I don't even know what to call it, like spiritual, occult knowledge, or like, what would you call esoteric?
Yeah, I feel like spiritual, like, and it is like occult stuff is kind of like, it's all kind of in that same realm of like fringe society stuff. Of like, I don't know. I just am always interested in people that like think differently, and people that see the world differently. And I'm always like, I feel like we can be in tune with a lot more than we can see. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like everybody's got that. Everybody's got the sixth sense. Oh, you feel like you were just about to say something. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all connected up here. We all tapped into something else. Yeah. 100%. So I always like to like kind of figure out
what kind of brought you into this kind of way of seeing things. Before we started recording, you mentioned you had a really great philosopher teacher, right?
Yeah, dude. Shout out Mr. Kramer.
Hey,
shout out Mr. Kramer, man. He was dope. He was like such a strong, like, he just made me question everything, man. So it was philosophy class, and he was always the chillest teacher. Like, we always just sat and had good discussions. We weren't trying to like, he didn't have a real curriculum. He was just like, hey guys, like, what do you think about life? Like, what are we doing here? Or, like, we're going to talk about Socrates.
That's
we're going to
like
talk
the
about,
best class. Not even a curriculum. You just show up.
Exactly. Like, he gave us marks. We did tests, all that stuff. But it was mostly just showing up and being like, all right, like, let's talk about these things. And he was, he was into politics, all sorts of stuff. But even just being introduced to like Socrates and like Plato and like different things that they were talking about, I was like, oh, like, I like this because
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like I never identify with shit in school regularly.
Yep.
When they're like, hey, like you should do this and like this is cool, that's cool. Like math, I was fine with. Science, I was fine with. But all this shit, like questioning life and like that stuff, actually got me interested.
Yeah,
that's
it.
it.
Interesting. So you like to question things. Are there specific people that you maybe follow online that share things that like you like to like know more about and like because sometimes like there are some people online that I follow and they're just like dropping some stuff and I'm like like these guys like I want this to be real just because it's like how cool it is if it was real.
I know, man. That's what I love. Like, I don't even know, right? Like, I can't say for certain that what they're saying is true, but I could try it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Like, you're saying, like, okay, I could control what? Like, okay, cool. Like, I should tap into my emotions and see how I'm feeling, and that's how you manifest shit. Whoa, that's crazy. Like, this dude I follow, Eckhart Tolle, I think, or Eckhart Tolle. I don't know how to say his name exactly, but he's like a philosopher, and he always talks about the power of like the present moment, and like existing outside of like this anxiety and like our constant thinking brain, you know, and really like understanding like, oh shit, like I don't need to be thinking all the time. And there's actually like a whole bunch of energy and stuff I can get into if I can just let go of my brain for a second. Like, whoa, dude, that shit just got me twisted. Yeah. I love that shit.
So is this guy, is he online or like?
I think you can find him on like Instagram. I always be watching like YouTube videos of like that. Like Alan Watts was another one. He was a philosopher from like, I don't know, the 50s, 60s, something like that. Yeah.
I've seen some of, I haven't gone too deep into Alan Watts, but I've crafted my Instagram algorithm, which I recommend everybody do. First of all,
you got to do it, man.
You have to make sure that your algorithm works for you. All right. If you have an old Instagram, I would say leave that one in the past. Make a new one. Follow the people that you believe will, feed these sort of energies into your algorithm. And then once the algorithm starts picking it up, that, you kind of like these sort of things.
And then it starts showing you more people that are like that.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Another dude I think his name was Joe Dispenza.
Okay.
Dr. Joe Dispenza. He's another one of those dudes. He was like I guess he was like a neuroscientist or something like that. So he comes at it from that background, but he talks all about like, like the power of feeling something and the power of like being able to like tap into the energies that are greater than you and using your breath and stuff, and how they've actually like, what's the word? They've actually done tests and like have studies of like showing that your energy is being lifted when you are thinking a certain way or you're feeling a certain way, and like how that affects everything around you, dude. Crazy. Yeah,
I remember I did this breath work meditation with this guy that I had met. And one of the things he said is like during the meditation, he's like, okay, so I want you to like picture a puppy and picture yourself giving that puppy all that emotion, all that love, and just try and think of what that would feel like. And then give that to yourself and not the puppy. And I was like, damn. I was like, damn. Bars.
That's bars right there for real. You spitting.
Like. I know, but it's like, I never really thought of even doing that in a way. Like taking that emotion that you'd feel from something else and then bringing that emotion over into maybe yourself or something else, like for instance, art or whatever.
Into art, into like whatever, like your future, the people around you, like that's a thing too. It's like a lot of times it's like, okay, it feels better to do something for someone else sometimes.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, if you could picture giving somebody like the best gift ever, or this person having the best day, getting the best news type shit. And it's like, oh yeah, that shit can kind of like, you can feel that easier than sometimes trying to picture yourself, doing the cool stuff and this and that. It feels self-indulgent, kind of like whack. But
but then when you do it for other people, that's when you kind of get that, that internal warmth, like you did something nice. And not
the warm and fuzzies, the
warm and fuzzies, 100%. Are you into like conspiracy theories at all? Do you have any that you're currently following?
Oh,
that
man, the
you wish
conspiracies, dude.
to spread into the universe?
Oh, I don't got no crazy conspiracies. You know
Doesn't
what I'm
have
saying?
to be crazy,
Not even
but-
like not crazy. I don't know, man. With conspiracy stuff, I feel like I just be dabbling.
Okay.
Like I'll like kind of like look into some stuff, you know, like we
Yeah.
were talking about pyramids earlier, and I
Ooh,
was like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, how did the pyramids get made? What's going on? We think it was like this, but maybe it was like this. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I am fully committed to people way back then are probably more tapped into shit than we are right now.
100%. We're
That's
too
it,
tapped
dude.
into iPhones, dude. They were
That's
tapped
it.
into something else. Maybe that's why they were able to have a king that was 9 years
years
old.
old. Yeah, because they were next level, dude.
I think honestly, like if he was like physically 9, I feel like the knowledge that he could have gotten though may have been like 300 years old. So like he could have been
That's
like
crazy.
mentally like 300.
He probably
but
was
physically
too,
like
right?
9 years old.
Oh my God, dude. That's so crazy. Like as a child, they just introduced him to all these things and like got him used to seeing the world a certain way and being, maybe he was a full on adult. Who knows?
Probably, because one of the things with the Egyptians and the people that were, you know, kings and all that stuff is that they had to be taught from a young age. They had to be taught the magics and the sciences and everything. You know what I mean?
And they actually got taught shit. Like
That's
not
what I
everybody
mean.
had that shit. It was like, all right,
well,
cool.
that too. Not everyone is even taught anything. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's so true. But they were taught. So it's like, what did they deem was needed to be taught to a king? Like, okay, let me ask you.
Yeah.
If you had, like, what would you teach someone that's 9-year-old that's going to be a king? Like, what would you want them to at least
What would
know?
you teach them? Damn,
Yeah.
dude, that's heavy. I don't even know. Like you'd want them to be, you know, I guess they would have to have some sort of like intuition, you know, and like some sort of like knowing how to like make certain decisions and being able to live with consequences of it, I guess. I don't even know. How you even explain that shit to a 9-year-old? You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to like, like I'm trying to mentally put myself to where I was when I was 9. Like, all right, just get your shit together. Just make sure you know, I don't know. They'd have to learn. I feel like if you could see it, it can happen. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's the lesson, you know, like you can really, everything that's happening outside of you has to do with what's going on in your own brain and your own shit. So like if you in control of yourself, you can kind of.
Do you think that the ancient Egyptians were more in control of themselves? Like we were saying earlier that they were probably tapped into some stuff, but like, do you think that they had like a better, you know, lock on the self?
Dog, they must have, right? I don't know, man. Like I don't know too much about this shit, and I'm trying to like learn more about it, and you know, connect with like all that ancient Egyptian shit. But just looking at the pyramids off the hop, like they're probably tapped into some other shit, and looking at all their like rituals and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like they had all the certain gods, and like they would have, you know, they would be buried a certain way, and they would be buried with certain things that are supposed to help them in the afterlife. That like. Yeah. And it's a whole thing, dude. They were like, you know, they were tapped into all sorts of crazy stuff that like.
I was just watching this video earlier on rituals and traditions, right? And how important they used to be. But in today's society, we don't really put anything towards tradition or rituals.
That's
right?
real.
Like
and I feel like we've lost that. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
what I'm saying. That's what the whole video was about. It's like we've lost this connection where like I was like literally in this video they're talking about how they have this one ritual, and this was like ancient Greece or whatever, and it was basically like. Have you ever seen the movie The Purge, or do you know of it?
Yeah, yeah.
So it was like that, but it wasn't to the point where like people were like killing and like all that stuff. But it was like and it wasn't just for 24 hours. Like in this, at least from the video that I was watching, they were basically like, like for the next 3 days, like you can party, you can do this,
you can do this,
go
sin.
You literally, you can go cheat on your wife, you can do whatever, and everything's forgiven during these 3 days.
That's crazy,
right? And then I think they might have had a similar ritual in Egypt, but it was like
a lot of that stuff crosses over, like the ancient Greek and the ancient Egypt stuff. A lot of those stories and the characters are
100%
pretty similar.
And we could even go into that too, which I love to go into in a bit. But like, even like sometimes like for those 3 days, the masters were the slaves and the slaves were the masters, right? And I thought that's so crazy because like even though like they had slaves and masters, they still like respected that ritual so much. So it's like, okay, even though I'm the master for the other 360 whatever days of the year, you know, for these 3 days,
switch it up.
We'll switch it up out of respect. And I'm like, damn, like
that's it, dude. That's real though. And I feel like shit like that is like, you know, it's necessary. And they did that shit for a reason, probably.
100%.
Right? It's like you purge that shit out of you, and then moving forward, you know, you're seeing shit clear. You know, you like let go of all these like distractions and like, oh, want to do this, want to do that. Just your brain like tugging you around. It's like you just let it all go.
Yeah.
And you just fucking take a real deep breath, dude. I don't know.
It's funny because now I'm thinking of it like in the Purge. Even though I haven't seen the Purge, I'm pretty sure that was like the whole point of the Purge in the movie is like get all your sins out, get all your killings,
and then no crime.
All crime is legal. But it's like, oh, now I'm just thinking like why they would make a movie on this kind of same ritual idea, but in the movie it's seen as like a bad thing, but in real life it was like a necessary thing.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? But I don't know. I always make these connections between like movies and like real life, and like how like sometimes in a movie they'll show one thing, and it's kind of related to something you'll see in real life, but then also they might flip it completely on its head and
to make it crazy. Well, like crazy, like with the movie too, right? It's like the masks and they're all everybody's killing each other, and it seems like a little bit excessive. You know what I'm saying? Like
it does, but my point is like, what are they trying to promote? Are they trying to show like that sort of idea is bad, or like, you know, why would this even be turned into a movie in the first place? Like it does seem like there's some sort of like back and forth.
Yeah, where like, is it good? Is it bad? Like type thing. Like it's good to like cleanse it out. And I guess that's the whole point of it, right? Maybe to just like have us question it.
Hey, who's coming in?
Oh, do we have
I got something for that.
A homie.
We need a dark camera, to be honest. I should have like my phone.
Somebody's coming in, you flash it in.
But yeah, no, I think there's something to that, and with like rituals and, you know, all those kind of spiritual teachings or lessons or ideas. We have kind of forgotten most of them. Not most, a lot of them.
Oh yeah, I would say, you know, and I feel like there's still people, you know, like people are still tapped in with, you know, big religions and stuff like that for sure. And I feel like a lot of that stuff has like those rituals, and they're doing certain things for certain reasons. And like, even if you don't get it, it actually has like a greater purpose. But I think it is like, nowadays we've all kind of like let that go, and we're trying to find, you know, our own ways to kind of connect that way.
Do you have your own little rituals that you do?
I try to be figuring them out. You know what I'm saying? It's forever a work in progress. I'm trying to like, you know, do like positive visualization and stuff like that. Yeah. You know, and like the whole like feeling kind of guiding me type of thing, like feeling how it would be to have all the things that I feel like I need type shit. You know? Like, okay, cool. And like sitting with that and seeing how that affects my life on the day to day, even if it isn't, you know, like waiting for something random to fall from the sky or some shit like that.
So like with the visualization and the positive visualization. I know, right? Is that something that you do on a daily basis, or is it just something like, you know, as needed, when you feel like it, or do you go back and forth? Some days you do it for a couple of days, you take a day off.
Pretty much. Yeah. I kind of take it. I try not to be like too rigid with it, because I find that like throws me off. Although I'm trying to, you know, I'm trying to do it every day. You know, like I fell off for a little bit, and then a couple days ago I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get back on this shit. I started writing stuff out, like journaling and stuff like that, and kind of getting back on it. And I feel like I just try to do it for as long as I can, or whenever I need to, and then I kind of ride it out for a little, and then it's like, okay, when I need that shit again, I kind of go back to it.
As an artist, how do you find journaling has impacted your art?
Journaling helps a lot, to be honest. I feel like a lot of times it clears space in my head for the good ideas to come out.
Okay.
Because when I'm journaling, it's just all that like random like day-to-day anxiety, you know, of like, oh, I got to go do this, I got to do that shit. This is, you know what I'm saying? Just that like constant running. So to like journal and get some stuff out, and then like to sit down and make music or write lyrics or something like that, it's like, okay, maybe I actually have something else to say than that I wouldn't have, you know, been 100%. Tapped into before.
Yeah. Your name, MER. Where does MER come from?
MER, it's like kind of a nickname.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So like my name is Omar.
Okay.
And people used to call me Omer when I was back in school.
Okay.
So I just kind of chopped the O. And that's it. It's MER.
Just MER.
Just kept it MER. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's pretty clean.
Yeah.
It's kind of my name. It's kind of not my name. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And also I like that like MER in French, like MER in French is like the sea. And
The
like
sea?
like the sea, like water, like, you know, like the ocean.
Oh,
like
yes.
the sea.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
And I love
100%. Yeah.
I like that too, man. You know, I'm all about, you know, trying to flow with things and trying to like
nice.
be serene like the,
Yeah.
like the ocean. And
Yeah,
sea.
100%.
You know?
I like that. So how long have you been doing music for?
I've been doing music for a while. So I've been getting in, like, I got into the hip hop thing probably like 5 years ago.
Okay.
Something like that. But I've been doing music for like 15 years.
Nice.
Something like that. Yeah. I started on the drums, did that for a few years.
Fellow drummer.
That's it, dude. Yo, for real, come on.
I used to play drums, but yeah.
Yo, but it still counts though. Like, you know what the groove is. That's
Yeah.
what it is, dude. Drums is so fun. And like that's still like the one instrument that I always want to go back to.
Yeah.
Even with like, you know, writing, all this stuff. I do all these other things, but I like drums, man. You can't beat that.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah, I did drums for a few years, guitar for a few years, and then got into rap like probably 4 or 5 years ago.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. You recently released a project. Tell me about what that process was like. You know, where did you get that kind of idea, and how were you able to manifest that project?
That project, man. It was a lot, man. It was a lot of work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was, so I've been making the music for a few years. I finally got it to a point where I'm like, all right, like I'm pretty proud of the music I'm making. I think this is pretty good. I kind of got my vibe to it and all that, sounding good. But I need to have something that's like a more, like a bigger body of work.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like I didn't have that yet. I just put out a couple songs here and there. And I wanted to sit down and really have something that like I could put everything into.
Yeah.
You know, I gave it all the different ideas I could, all the different, you know, like I recorded all the music, a lot of the beats I made sure that like a couple beats I got from a guy in Toronto, a couple beats from here, a couple beats from there, like made sure everything was set up properly, went and shot all the videos, you know what I'm saying? I shot a video for every song.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
Wow, that's a lot of work.
Oh my God. It took like, probably like with the music and everything, dude, it took like a long time. It was about a year working.
Nice.
Like, and that was, you know, like work the day job where you have to go away, come back type thing. Like, but yeah, shot 11 videos, cut all the videos.
Wow.
Made some money for marketing. And, you know, now I'm in that phase of it.
Which phase? The marketing phase?
The marketing phase where I'm like, all right, now I'm pushing it out. I'm trying to show it to everybody, trying to see how y'all feel.
Shout it out.
Shout out.
Where can people find the project?
Check it out. Light Beam is the project. You can find it everywhere. My name is MER. So you add MER Hip Hop on whatever, merhiphop.com. You can find it there.
Awesome.
Stream it. That's it, man.
Link in the description,
Link in the description.
below.
Let's go. Yeah.
So you started this project and you're working on it. What was the inspiration behind it? Like, because you know, not every project. How do I say this? Some projects are just made, right? They come from wherever, but it's like, where did you get that inspiration from to like make this project into the form that it eventually became?
Damn, dude. I don't know if I had like a specific place. Honestly, I remember when I was I had a bunch of songs and I feel like I really had something that I needed to say, if that makes sense. Yeah. You know, so I was like, especially like with how crazy everything is, you know, we were talking earlier about how like we're all on our smartphones all the time, you know, and we're all like constantly like in this like feedback loop and we're all like super anxious and super uncomfortable, you know, and it's like, I feel like as a society, like we're set up to kind of fail. So I kind of wanted to make this album as like a thing that I could use myself and that maybe other people could also, you know, to kind of get into a better headspace. And kind of combat, like, you know, the first track on my album is called World's Gone Crazy. And it's like it's World's Gone Crazy. Don't feel it now. Just heal it now. just keep it down.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's it. You know, like everything's so crazy. We're so tapped into everything that's going on. Like sometimes you just got to unplug.
100%. Which I also recommend people do, you know, unplug for a while. Like you
for
don't
like
have to
a while.
like I took a whole year off social media.
That's
you know
awesome.
what I mean? I would recommend that to everybody, because if you're tapped in all day long, every day, every time something bad in the world happens and you know about it, like that's too much.
It's too much, dude. It just fucks your whole day up, man.
It does. You don't need to know about it.
And it's like, it feels bad, right? Like it almost feels selfish. It feels like, oh, I should feel like, you know, the weight of this. I should know what's going on. But it's like, we weren't meant to deal with that shit.
No, 100%.
I don't know. And I always think about that. Like, I think you know, I'm not old, but like I think back to like when I was like 7 or 8, I think is when the internet started being a thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, I remember it being like, oh, I couldn't just go on the internet, you know, that wasn't everywhere.
Yeah, legit. It wasn't on your phone.
And that wasn't that long ago, dude. Like that was, you know, that was 20 years ago. And like, now everybody just has it on them all the time. We're all constantly like, you wake up, check your phone, look at some stuff. Oh, damn. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I can see something in the morning on my phone that spins my whole day.
Yeah.
Rough.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons. That's, you know, I haven't told this story, but I think now's the time to tell it. The whole reason that I even took the whole break off social media is because like, it was kind of that same thing where you have that like, you get into this like negative loop, right? So like at this time there was like the whole, you know, Black Lives Matter, the George Floyd stuff, and all that was going around, the black squares, which really pissed me off because the dumbest things ever. But what's going on? I remember like I was in this cycle of like, man, like the police are just out to get everybody.
Yeah,
you know
for
what
real.
I mean?
And you just feel that, right? It's all you see. And like,
here's what's crazy. Here's what's so fucked up. And this is what really solidified it. So I was out. One of my rituals that I do is I go for a walk every single night.
Nice.
And like I just go, I walk, I look at the stars, I look at the constations. I'm trying to
dope.
learn them. I don't know them all, but
but that's great, dude. You know,
just go
like
for walks, right? And I was out on this walk, and I saw this like coyote. Like,
oh shit!
It was like mad close, right? And I was like, oh snap! Like there's a coyote. I didn't know what to do, so I'm like, all right, well, just turn around. Don't get scared. Don't raise the heart rate, anything, right? So I'm just focused on my breathing. All of a sudden, the coyote starts like following me. You know what I mean? Fuck. And then I'm like, oh, well, let me just walk, keep it cool. Chilling. I keep walking. And then I'm like, man, like, I walk like a couple blocks, maybe like another like 5 minutes. The coyote's still just following me.
That's fucking trippy, dude.
But here's the fucked up part, right? There was like a officer, or like there was like a car pulled over or something, and I debated like, should I just get a ride home with this officer or just walk home? But then I'm like, what if I go talk to the officer and he's in a bad mood? Then what happens? Do I want to take my chances with the officer?
Fuck, you're like coyote or the police officer.
And I chose the coyote, dude.
Oh fuck.
You know what I mean? So I chose the coyote, and then after that I'm like, oh, that was really stupid of me. You know, I'm still here, but it's like, I didn't have to be thinking in that way. And I realized one of the reasons that I was thinking that way was because that's what was going on in the news, and that's what was cycling. And
that's what you anticipate happening, man. And it's like, I don't know. It's one of those things that like anything could happen, but like, you should always assume the best.
Exactly. That's exact 100. Assume the best. And
that's what I try.
I'm like, here's me like, okay, do I want to risk it with the police officer or this coyote that's actively following me? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like he's trying to find my house. Like he's not just trying to get me real quick and then he fucked off. Like
exactly. He was actively following me, and I'm like, I'll take my chances with the coyote. I think I can at least fight off a coyote. But police officer, no chance.
Yeah, that's it, dude. Like I could probably kick it if I really need to. Like fuck, dude.
I had a game plan and everything, but I just thought it was so ridiculous that I did that, and then I'm like, you know what? Okay, break time. You know
that was the moment where you were like,
I got home, I deleted Instagram off my phone, and I deleted Twitter. Yeah. And honestly, I still haven't been back on Twitter. Like Twitter, but I don't need Twitter.
Dude, you probably don't need Twitter. Honestly, like I'd be on Twitter and it's like, it's just random shit. It's mostly people complaining. Every once in a while, I'll get something that like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but is it worth it? All that other, not really.
Honestly, probably not really.
Yeah. So like for me, like I'm only using really Instagram for like business and you know, for the podcast and my other stuff that I'm doing. But I don't really have like a a personal page anymore. I'm
Yeah,
like,
to like share stuff. Forget. Yeah, I don't know, man. Again, like it's just too much.
It's too much.
Like I try to get a couple of things that like I like to see. Like I followed a bunch of like ancient Egyptian things recently.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, cool, seeing all these artifacts and this and that.
I
I'm
follow
like,
those pages too.
Oh, dude, I love that shit.
And this is what I mean. You gotta fix your algorithm, right? My old algorithm. Hey,
real.
guess who's back?
Welcome back.
I'm gonna put. Sorry,
Oh, that's cold. Oh
did?
man, it's happening. The sun's going down.
Oh yeah, true.
That's it. Winter jacket time. It's November out here, dude.
I know, and you know what's crazy? It was so warm over the weekend. You know what I mean? It was so nice and sunny.
Yeah.
It was too warm. People
was
were
too
like
much.
suspicious. They're like, if you're like, I don't know if it's really
Don't
this
trust
warm.
this. It's about to start snowing for real.
I know.
I don't want to say that out loud. I don't mean to.
You
but
said it already, dude.
Fuck, I'm sorry, y'all.
By the time we're done this episode, there's gonna be snowing.
Don't blame me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say this. It just came to me.
Hey, we live in Canada. It has to snow at some
I
point.
know, right? And like I don't mind the snow. I can fuck with the snow. I don't love like driving in snow. I don't love having to go somewhere and it's snowing. And you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
But looking at snow is great, dude.
Yeah, I like looking at snow. I like walking in snow.
Oh yeah.
I used to. I want to start doing this more. I just haven't had the time, but like I want to get back into like snowboarding and skiing.
Oh, nice.
Because where I grew up, there was this. I don't even know. There's like a ski mountain or a snowboard
That's
mountain.
crazy,
So
dude.
like
Where'd you grow up?
Milton. Do you know where Milton is?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So like they had this. I think it's 𝁟There or something. Piece. And we would just go there. You know, you'd rent skis and we would go skiing or snowboarding. I used to do that a lot back in the
that's
day.
dope.
But now it's like I've been just working and I'm like, man, I gotta get back to doing
It's hard,
that
dude.
kind of stuff.
You got to though, right? It's hard. It's like I feel like and that's another thing we were talking about, like the culture and stuff like that. Like we all are just constantly working.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we don't spend a lot of time doing things we enjoy, and it's like we have to have that balance of like, okay, like I spent this many days working. Okay, cool. I have to go do this thing that like I really love to do. Type shit.
Yeah. That's why. Did you ever watch the? Do you watch the I almost said Michael Jackson, the Michael Jordan documentary, The Last Dance?
I've seen a lot of like little clips of it and stuff. Yeah.
Because one of the players, Dennis Rodman, he had this thing where it's like he would practice hard, but then he would also party just
crazy.
Just you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And I think there's like a wisdom to that, because imagine if you were working hard all the time with no breaks.
Oh, you lose your mind.
You lose your mind.
There's no reason. Like what are you doing working for like?
Exactly. So I try to take that approach where it's like, hey, I'll work for a bit. I'll go really hard at it. Like I was saying today, I'm doing a bunch of episodes. We got, MER, we had Men of Skill, we had Goddess Body, we're
That's
out
it, dude.
grinding.
You've been working. Yeah, I've seen you fucking do a bunch of episodes
I
last
know.
week. You got this guy in, that guy in. Come on.
Yeah, I'm doing it. And afterwards, I'm just going to relax,
That's it,
At least I tell myself I'm going to relax, but I'm just going to
I know, right?
lightly work on some stuff.
Yeah, I'm just going to work a little bit less. I'm just going to relax, do a couple things today. Shit.
Yeah.
Man, it's like, well, you can do it. You got to do it. But it's just a balance,
What do you like to do in your relaxing time? Are you a gamer? Do you like to read?
I'm mostly a gamer. I would say I definitely grew up like lots of video games.
Yeah. What kind of games?
Yeah. Oh, dude. Mostly like role playing games and stuff. I guess like I played a little bit of everything. Like I like shooting games. I used to play a lot of Halo. I was never really good at Call of Duty, so I just had to stop.
Yeah.
Like I got to a point I had to bow out because I was just losing every single game.
I know. There's that moment where you're just like, man, as much as I like to play this game, I just can't hang.
I can't hang with these kids, dude.
Yeah.
Like y'all too good at this shit. I gotta go. Like that happened to me with League of Legends too. I played that for a little bit.
I retired. I'm a reformed League of Legends addict. I had to retire. It's too much.
Man, I didn't even get to that point. I love the game, but every time I showed up, like people were like, "Are you a bot?" Like
my goodness.
They thought that I was there to make the other team lose because I was so bad.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I gotta go. Like, I'm gonna play this game on my own over here.
Yeah.
And that stuff's usually pretty chill for me. Yeah.
Nice.
Like I was playing like Witcher a little while ago.
Nice. I didn't play The Witcher, but I did play like a lot of like, I played Skyrim, like a lot of Skyrim back in the day. I've recently been playing Ghost of Tsushima. I don't know.
Oh, that game's dope, dude. I haven't played it, but
he's at the door now. Oh, again.
Oh. Man, that's it. We switched the job. You forgot about certain shit in the other one, man.
Oh my goodness, that's so funny. His headphones were in the other jacket that he switched out of.
It's such a sad time, dude. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's one of those. Is it the AirPods?
Yeah, 2022.
Oh,
There you go, man. We in the future.
The struggle.
Little buds. Peace, dog.
Yeah, no, Ghosts of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima, dude. Crazy
Great
game.
Have you played it?
I didn't play it, but my roommate played a bunch of it. And he
Yeah.
was like heavy with it, and I love that shit, dude. Like ancient Japan.
Yeah.
Dude, Japan's crazy, dude. Like that's another one of those cultures that just like gets me tripped right out.
Ooh.
Like it's like ancient Egypt, all right, and then ancient Japan. I was like,
Yeah.
man, that stuff is wild.
Yeah, no, same. Like I'm so fascinated. Like I want to know. Well, I do want to know, but then you can't know everything. This
That's
is what
it, dude.
I'm trying to convince myself. You can't know everything. You
can't.
You know
You
what
can
I
try.
mean? You could try, but you can't know everything. But like even with like not even ancient Egyptian, not even the ancient Japanese, but just like a couple centuries ago, like what were they doing? Why did they decide to do katanas in this specific way? How did they know that this is gonna make the steel this? You know what I mean? Like all that kind of stuff.
How do y'all know that? How do y'all know it was gonna go like this?
I don't know. It's
Tapped in, dude.
tapped in. That's what it is.
what it is, man. They were
Here's
tapped
a
in.
question. How do we
Yeah.
get tapped in?
How do we get tapped in?
How do we get tapped in?
Fuck, dude. I
Like-
don't know, man. There can't be any like one way, right? There's
No.
gotta be like there's gotta be all sorts of ways, but you just gotta find it yourself.
I agree. I think one of the ways we can get tapped in is by not using our phones all the time.
Oh, dude. Oh my God. Literally, like I could feel like my attention and like life coming back to me when I put my phone down for
Yeah.
real. Like
Yeah.
sometimes I find myself just scrolling on Instagram or like doing whatever,
Yeah.
for no reason at all. I'm just being anxious and don't want to do the other thing I'm supposed to be doing. So
Yeah.
I'm like doing that. And then just like the second I put it down, I could feel my brain like start
Yeah.
coming back to life. I'm like, oh shit, okay. Like I can have thoughts about other things now, or like I can
Yeah.
maybe take a sec and be like, okay,
Yeah.
it's crazy, dude. I think that's huge.
Yeah, I think that's something like I would like to, because I remember like I'm sure we kind of grew up in the same time, but it's like there were times where you had a phone, but you didn't have to check it for like a couple of days if you didn't want to. You know what I
Just
mean?
leave
Like,
it. It's
you can just
fine.
leave it. It's like it's dead, but like I'll get to it.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what
fine.
I mean?
No, nothing important is happening.
Exactly.
It's fine. Y'all gonna be good. You don't have to hit me up.
Maybe that's another reason. Maybe the ancient Egyptians, all they had was flip phones. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like-
that's it. Yeah, they just had a shit ton of those Motorola Razors. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it. They had
my
nothing crazy.
That,
like,
I think that was peak phone. The Motorola
for
Razor.
sure.
Once we
Shout
did
out
the
Motorola.
Razor, and then we started doing screens and touch screens
downhill, dude.
and
For
BBM,
real.
and then I met
that was it.
bring back
Motorola Razor, yo, for real. Shout out Motorola. You flip that thing open. Bad time though. I had a Razor and I snapped that shit like straight up.
Yeah, but those are the most satisfying phones to snap, dude. Like you're.
Yeah, I know.
Some
It
people
was. It
like you
felt
should be
good.
grateful you get to snap a Motorola
know,
or a
right?
Razor. You know,
Yeah.
not many people get that experience.
Yeah, it was a formative experience for me for real. I was walking into the Walmart and I was like, bet this won't break. Ka.
and then it broke.
And that was it, dude. That was the last day. And I was just like with the homies and they like looked at me and I looked at them and I just kind of like looked at my hands. Oh.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say I miss those days, but it's like sometimes I try and bring myself back to that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And it's not something that I try and do every day because like we're saying, it's not really sustainable to do that every day, but
Yeah.
just try to be cognizant and conscious of like, hey, you know what? I've been on my phone too much today. Let me just put it
Yeah,
down for a
dude.
bit and kind of just
Oh
think.
man, take a breath.
Yeah.
For real. That's what I've been trying to do. Trying to meditate.
Mm.
I'm still not like good with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like a work in progress, but
Yeah.
just
I think meditation itself is a work in progress. Like no one,
yeah.
like for me, like, cause I try and meditate and I try to do the positive visualizations. And like, even though, I wouldn't say I'm good at it, I'm better than I was when I first started.
Yeah, that's
You
real.
know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah.
maybe
It's a
I started,
process.
it's a process. And I think
Yeah.
the more you do that process, like that itself is the meditation. Where I think
real.
some people, they think about meditation where it's like, oh, I sit there in a room for like 30 minutes. I don't blink. I don't breathe.
Don't do anything.
Don't do
Completely
anything.
still.
Exactly. But then what does it take to get to that? you know, that might take
Probably fucking
10
long
years,
time.
15 years. You don't know. So
Depends on where you're at too, right? Like how deep you are with it. I feel like it's, you know, it is just the practice of like being able to quiet your mind and try to like bring yourself into your body and not be anywhere else, not try to have to get up and go do something or like want to check your phone or like do the, you know what I'm saying? So like kind of exist outside of that. I think it's important though, dude. Because even doing that shit for, you know, 10, 20 minutes in a day can change everything. You know, it's like, I'm going to try to, you know, I'm day 2 out of 2 so far, but I'm going to try to get up and like meditate for 10 to 15 minutes every morning. And be like, okay, see how that affects my day.
What do you, when you're meditating, are there specific like ideas that keep coming back into your meditations? Like, oh, you should be doing this, or like, here's something that your brain would like to show you.
Yeah. I mean, I always be getting anxious about having to do shit. You know what I'm saying? It's always like, oh, I should be doing this. I should be doing that. I need to be doing this. Like, I wish, you know what? It's just all these like anxious random thoughts of like just wanting to be doing something else or feeling like I need to be doing something else or I need to be somewhere else. Too sometimes, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, I need to be somewhere else to actually be able to relax, or I need to. I just need to do this first and then I can relax. It'll be fine. Like, perfect.
Meanwhile, you could kind of just force yourself to relax. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just take, like, when I started doing the meditation, I set the bar for myself so low.
That's perfect, though.
So low that you couldn't even deny it. You know what I mean? Like, I said it just like, just sit there for 1 minute.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure like everybody has 1 minute. And so like, I got rid of the excuse for myself. You know what I mean?
That's real though. You have to start there.
Exactly. You just sit there and like, okay, a minute.
1 minute, dude. 60 seconds. And even that shit's hard.
Exactly.
Like I'm like bugging out. I'm itching. I'm like, oh, I got it? Oh no. I check my phone. Like, man, it's but I think that it's important to like, especially when you're learning something new, to like start real low. Like and then just baby steps up, because anything more than that, if you're trying to like sit down for half an hour and be like, I'm gonna meditate. You're gonna hate that.
You're gonna hate it, and I think that discourages you from doing it again.
Yeah, for real.
You know, if you're just like, if you force yourself to do it, like me and my brother were talking about how when we were younger, we were like forced to read. And because we were forced to read, we ended up hating to read. Not really hating it, but it's like,
you didn't like doing it.
I didn't like doing it because it's like, this was forced. But now I'm at this point where I'm like, now I want to actually read more. You know what I mean? Like, I start getting books. I'm like, oh, I want to learn this. I want to know the answers. What's the answer?
Like, damn it.
Exactly. They only put it in books.
I know, right? It's like, oh, fuck, I got to learn this. Fuck, I got to learn hieroglyphs, obviously, because I got to read it from the actual fucking rock that they carved it into. Like,
I know.
Dude,
honestly,
that's what's up.
I think that'd be interesting to learn to learn hieroglyphs and stuff like that, because it's interesting how the ancient Egyptians, their whole languages was in pictures.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I mean?
It's
like,
crazy.
there wasn't actual words. So if their whole language is in pictures, what were their thoughts like? You know what I mean? Like, how were they thinking?
Real. That's it, right? Because it's like, our thoughts are only, you know, our thoughts are in our language, right? The language we were taught. So it's like, if they were taught a completely different language, how the fuck are they thinking?
I know. Like they're
I don't know, dude.
They're thinking in some next sort of way, because
I'm stressing. Shit like that just got me like thinking too many different things. I'm like, oh man, they're probably fucking. I don't know, man. There's crazy stuff going on for sure.
I know, and like, I find it so fascinating because, like you said, the ancient Greeks and the Egyptians, they're similar in these. They're similar in a few ways, you know what I mean? Like, some stories or some gods might be related to other gods and all these things. So I find it fascinating how they, even though they might have been thinking in a different way, these ideas were still passed on somehow. Even through the different ways of thinking.
And that's the crazy shit too, right? That's why, like, I feel like we're all tapped into something that's more than just us, right? Because the way that, like, you see like how ancient Greece thought this way and had this type of guy, and like ancient Egypt thought this way and had this type of guy, and how they're pretty much the same thing. And like, well, then they must have got that shit from somewhere, right? Like, there was no way that they were in communication.
or were they?
Or fucking were they, dude? I don't know.
Have you heard of Thoth? Do you know?
Oh yes, yeah.
So Thoth is an ancient Egyptian god. He's the god of wisdom, teaching, learning, the god of scribes, all these things. There's a theory out there that Thoth is an Atlantean, right?
Oh,
that
shit.
Came to Egypt, taught them what they know, and then went to Greece and Rome and then taught them.
Well, yeah, because is it Hermes?
He's known as Hermes Trismegistus.
That's
Hermes
it,
for
dude.
short.
Yeah. And I feel like I've read or I haven't read it, but I found a audiobook on YouTube, like the Hermetic something.
The Hermetic Principles.
The Hermetic Principles, yeah.
Yeah,
dude.
As above, so below. The law of vibration. There's 7 core ones that honestly, I think that's one thing. That's probably one thing that they taught King Tut when he was 9. Like, you need to know the Hermetic Principle. That was like the first thing they taught him. Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. I hope it's something like that.
I think it would be something cool like that. Come on.
Probably.
Like, why are you gonna teach them fucking like math or something? You know what I'm saying? It's like what we get taught in school. Why?
Well,
there's so many. You could get other shit.
I think being taught math is important, but it's how we teach it. Like, we don't really teach it in any. We kind of teach it in a practical way, but there's so much that's missed out, I feel like. You know what I mean? Like, why don't they teach us math for taxes or like any of that stuff? You know,
I'm upset. Like, I'm right now. Please tell me, because I wish someone would have told me about all this shit.
I know. It's
gotta go to Google, try to read shit. Like,
yeah, but that's just simple math that could have been taught. But now I'm thinking like, is there a reason they didn't teach us? Is there a reason they taught us? Because they'll teach us like Pythagoras, who was also a philosopher, right? But they'll give us like one thing, his theorem, a squared plus b squared, all that stuff.
That's it.
But there's like more stuff that he did.
He had a lot more like different ideas that weren't like just that one math equation.
Yeah.
But like, come on, y'all.
And also, there's so much. There's so much to be tapped into, I feel like. You know what I mean?
I love that shit, dude. There's so many. I think there's just so many things to like learn.
Yeah.
And I think that it's like, it's exciting that we're talking about how our phones and how that shit kind of takes away from us, but it is also exciting that we can be tapped into like so much information.
Yeah, that's the trade-off. Like you can be tapped in. You know,
like for real, like tapped all the way in. You have to get your algorithm right. You got to follow the right people.
Yes,
you got to look for the right things.
Yeah,
and then and also take time probably apart from it, away from it.
Yeah,
in moderation. But
you know what? There's something to that. Like you tap in for a little bit. You take a break. You tap in for a little bit. You take a break, because if you're, like we're saying, if you're on it all the time, it's hard. And if your brain is just going and going, just like how the feed will just keep showing stuff.
Just keep scrolling and scrolling.
I think taking that time is super important.
Dog, it feels so good to just like put your brain down for a second.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't have to worry about your problems all the time.
Not all the time.
You can actually just put them down. And I mean, it's good. It's good that we have these brains that like analyze stuff and like can kind of help us like figure shit out. But at the same time, it's like if you're just running the same shit all the time, it's like so relieving to be able to put that down for a second.
Yeah.
I think that's important, dude. Just meditate for a minute.
Just for a minute.
Just 1 minute, y'all.
All you viewers out there, I challenge you to just meditate for 1 minute. That's it. 60 seconds. Comment down below if you did it. And if you didn't, try again tomorrow. It's not that big of a deal.
That's it. But you should try, and I'm gonna try too, because I do be like, oh, I'm gonna sit down for 10 minutes, but I'm not really present for that whole 10 minutes.
No, you go different places. I know, like, if I were to meditate for 10 minutes, like, I don't even know where I go. You know what I mean? Like, you go. I feel like I go somewhere else, because then like say I'm like focusing on my breathing or whatever, all of a sudden I'll be like, whoa. You know what's going on? I was just breathing, but like I wasn't really conscious. You know what I mean? Like my consciousness went somewhere else. I was thinking about, I was daydreaming or whatever you want to call it.
Thinking about that, like kind of gone.
Yeah, but then you come back. It's like, dang, that was a whole 2 minutes. All right, so we're at the 48-minute mark. I want to ask you, what are 2 things that you're grateful for? Any 2 things?
Nice.
Just, for gratitude, what are 2 things that you're grateful for?
I'm grateful for my family, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, they're awesome, very supportive, very loving.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Nice.
And what else I got? I'm just grateful to be out here living, man. Feel the sun on my face. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yes,
it.
sir.
Come on.
Yes.
That's it. We got to be, man. It's
Yeah.
like we so lucky. And I feel like so many times, again, we can get caught up. Like every fucking day I'm caught up. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I need to get this. I need to do this. I wish I had this, da, 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 da. But like, yeah, for real. Grateful to be here living.
Awesome.
Yeah,
We love it.
for real.
We love
We
it.
out here, y'all.
I'll say, you know what? One thing
What
that
you
I'm
got?
grateful for is, one for just living. Like you said, I think that's like the first thing that we should, or at least waking up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like one thing that I've been trying to do, and like I said, it's not something that I do every day, but it's like when I wake up, I just try and just be like, oh, thank you. I woke up today. You know what I
This
mean?
is amazing. Yeah.
You
I
know?
have another shot at doing whatever the fuck I'm trying to do.
Legit. So I try and do that. So, one thing I'm grateful for is, waking up. And what's another thing that I'm grateful for? I'm grateful for, the opportunity to be able to have these kind of conversations with people because not everyone gets to, talk and express themselves in like a free sort of way, but then also be in a space where they can talk about these sort of ideas. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for real, dude. It's not common.
It's not common, and I'm super grateful to be able to do that. So,
Hell yeah, dude.
yeah, I guess I'll put that down onto
That's
the
awesome.
universe or wax, whatever you want to call it.
There you go. You putting it in wax. You putting it in space.
Yeah.
Everybody's feeling it.
Where can the people find you online?
Y'all can find me everywhere at MER Hip Hop. MERhiphop.com is the website. I got links to my Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Spotify, all that type of stuff. Check it out. That's
Awesome. And with that, I'll go ahead and play the outro music. Thank you so much for this episode, man.
All right,
It's
my
been
guy.
a blast.
Appreciate you having me out. For real, for real.
That was fun.
Appreciate y'all.
Peace.
Be well.
Further.
I'm sorry?
You said my skills extend farther than the basketball court. Farther relates to distance. Further is a definition of degree. You should have said further.